Hey there, I am Stephanie Shaw, host of Hello Hot Flash. And the one thing I love about Adam's Download Growth Club is his transparency. He is never shy about sharing his knowledge as it relates to podcasting and the business of podcasting. Not because I'm a high profile client, but because that's his heart. Since joining Download Growth Club in under 30 days, my downloads have doubled. And I finally have a strategy for monetization. Thank you, Adam.
What's up, pod pals? It's your buddy Adam, and you are listening to Podcasting Business School. It's the show where I teach podcasters simple strategies to help you make more money, get more clients, and build a profitable and simple online business. What is up, my pod pals? Today we're talking about 6 questions for content creators who want to attract ideal fit clients. I think that a really important step in the path to simplify our online business, which is a main goal that I have for myself and for you, is to be as efficient as possible as we try to attract our ideal fit clients. And to be as efficient as possible to attract those ideal fit clients, we have to really understand who they are. All right. So a couple of weeks ago in my academy, I'm going to say it. I asked some really good questions. I found that the more that I write, it's like a brain workout. And I will literally wake up in the middle of the night with ideas and questions and concepts. It just drives the creativity. So if you guys, just as a side tangent here, if you guys feel a little bit of a creativity lull, I would say put down the AI for a couple of weeks and write some stuff. Write your own social media copy, write your newsletter. It just really stimulates my brain in particular. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But I got some ideas and I brought them into my online business academy in our group coaching. And it was a profound meeting. We had so many aha moments and light bulbs going off. I was like, I need to let this simmer and marinate a little bit, and I'm going to do a full-blown podcast episode based off of the questions that I asked them. All right. So actually, I've added a couple more questions. You guys are getting some bonus questions to think through today. But this is one of those episodes where I'm going to really challenge you to think about things a little bit deeper, a little bit differently, and I'm going to give you homework. This might be a 2-listener. Like, go ahead and listen to it once, get the idea simmering a little bit, and then listen to it again and sit down and make some notes and take some action on this one, because I really do think it'll help. All right. So we're going to dive into some questions to help you figure out who exactly that ideal listener, that ideal client avatar is. And first thing we're going to look at is the first question is, what does one level down on your niche look like for you? Now, people get online and fight about niche and should you niche down and do you need to niche down and you are the niche and all this other crap that I really don't even understand what they're arguing about, to be honest. But this is just an exercise, right? This is just a mental exercise of, okay, your current niche is whatever it is. What would one more specific level down look like for you? One level of specificity down, what would that look like for you? So example, the first 100 episodes of this show you're listening to, it was just a podcast about podcasting. That's one level. Then I went one more level down with my specificity, and now it's online business strategies for podcasters. All right. I am an online business coach for podcasters. That is one level down of specificity. So that's the first thing I just want you to start thinking about. Not saying you have to niche down or anything like that. I just want you to just think like, okay, just challenge yourself. Maybe you're already really dialed in and just challenge yourself. Like, what would one more level down look like for you? For some of you all, you are way too broad. You got a podcast about living life. All right. Or you got a podcast about all things human. We got to get a little bit more specific. So this is just a nice, gentle question, a nice, gentle exercise to start off with. So whatever level of branding you're at right now, try to niche down by one simple level. And what would that look like? All right. Let's go to the next question. What are the specific characteristics? And I want you to be as specific as possible. Now we're getting a little bit more intense. What are the specific characteristics of your ideal client avatar? AKA, who can you help the absolute fastest? I want you to come up with 2, 3, 4, 5 characteristics and do not hold back and be extremely specific and be unafraid, because this isn't something you have to put out there. I'm going to put my list out there for you all right now. And I'll explain some different options we have once we do this. But really think about it. Somebody comes into your world, they're handing you money. Who can you help the absolute fastest? Who is the no-brainer, results-getting client, clockwork, just the template is there. You've done it a million times. You have extreme confidence. You can help this person. So for me, I've got 3 very specific things that I'm looking for. And when I'm doing discovery calls, I'm asking people these types of questions to get this type of information to figure out if they are this or if they aren't this. And do not worry. What I'm not going to tell you is like, don't take clients that don't fit this specific avatar profile. I'm not saying that at all. So as I described this, if you don't fit this profile, don't worry. Like there's still options. And I'll explain that. But also for you out there, it can be scary if you think like, because there are people that say that, oh, your ideal client avatar, don't accept anybody that isn't this. We're going to look at some different options here. So for me, my very, very specific ideal client avatar, the first characteristic I look for is somebody that has 20 plus podcast episodes. They know how to be a podcaster. They've created some content. They, can do all the podcaster things by 20 episodes. Only 17% get past episode 10. So they've crossed that. They're double that. They're a little more serious about it. 20 plus episodes is a nice threshold I like to be at for my ideal client avatar. The second characteristic is they have an email list of at least 100 people. So they've got a lead magnet, maybe a newsletter. They have a landing page where people can opt in, and they've got 100 people or more on their email list. Don't have to have a newsletter, but they've got 100 people on their list. That's the second characteristic that I look to define. Do they have this or do they not have this? The third thing is they have an online program or service, and they have actually sold one of those for at least $500 or generated a total of $500 plus income on maybe a lower ticket service. So they've made $500 online or more. So those are the 3 things that I'm trying to find out, because if you have all 3 of those things, it's a no-brainer, home run. I can help you double, triple your audience growth, double, triple, quadruple, 10x your income. It's very simple and very easy for me to do that. Now, like I said before, and by the way, if you're going, I am these people, I am this, I have all 3, check, 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 hit the link in the show notes. I'll put my discovery call link in there. You owe it to yourself. Let's have a chat and talk about working together and how I can help you if you fit that profile. But what if you don't? Can I never work with Adam until I have these things? No. And I'm not going to tell you to do that with your audience either. So really, when we look at this, and like I said, defining it to that level can be scary. When I took my academy members through this, they were like, oh, damn, that's very specific. This is where the light bulb started to go off. And I was like, just be unafraid. Just think about the people who you've worked with who've got the fastest result, speed to result. All right. Define them. Really look at their content, or, come up with 2 or 3 things. For me, it's the podcast episodes, the email list, and their service and their pricing. If I can dial in on those 3 things, I know where they're at. I can really increase that speed to result if they fit that profile. We have 2 opportunities here. We have the people that do fit our ideal profile. We have the people that do not. And there are opportunities on both sides of that. All right. I want to call your attention to the opportunity on both sides, because the people who do not fit this profile yet, it is our job as content creators and as coaches and service providers, it is our job to transform them into our ideal fit clients. And there is a financial opportunity to do that. All right. And then the people that do fit the profile, our duty is to take them to the next level, solve that next level of pain points that person has. So there's 2 unique financial opportunities that we have to address. But first, we got to get specific and unafraid. Hopefully feel a little bit better about it now. I know when we were doing the session, the group coaching session, people started to kind of relax, like, okay, Like, I'm not putting this on my website. If you do not qualify, don't even bother. Like, we're not taking that approach. We're looking at both sides of the equation. So let's address the first one of, let's look at that person that does not quite fit that ideal client profile yet. Maybe they got none of them checked off. Maybe they got a couple of them checked off. All right. So the next question we have to ask ourselves is, are we using our offers and content to help our audience become our ideal client avatar? Our free stuff and our paid stuff, do we have things to help develop them into the ideal client avatar? So for me, again, I'm looking to get clients in my grasp with 20 plus podcast episodes, an email list to over 100 people, and have sold something for over $500. So I have offers for podcast launch that gets people to that 20 plus episode. I've got offers for newsletter and email list growth. I've got offers for offer creation and sales. All right. I can take that person that doesn't check all those boxes and build them into my ideal client avatar. Once we get there, we can hit the freaking pedal to the metal and really get that speed to the result they're actually looking for. All right. Now, I also, as you all know, if you've been listening to the show, if you've been reading my newsletter, if you follow me on social media, I have lots of free content that covers these. All right. My free monthly workshop at the end of every month, I do 90 minutes covering these types of pain points and helping people level up. Several people from my last workshop last month, we were doing some online business, listener client conversion stuff. I brought them into the mix because we kind of helped them get to a certain position, and now they're ready to work with me. All right. And again, some of them checked all the boxes, some of them did not. And that determines what we're focused on, right? So there's opportunities on either side of that ideal listener and ideal client avatar checklist. All right. So that is the first side of the equation. If they aren't quite your ideal client avatar yet, do we have offers and content that are helping them level up and speaking to those pain points? The next question is, are we using our offers and content to speak to the next step pain points of your ideal client avatar? So now we look at that ideal client avatar. For me, again, 20 plus podcast episodes, email list of at least 100 people, have sold a program or service for at least $500. So we have to look at that and go, what next step pain points does this person have? Because we can't just keep solving the before that pain points. Like, these are ideal people. How do we accelerate them to really get a meaningful ROI that they're looking for? So for my ideal client avatar, their next step pain points are slow podcast audience and email list growth, low client conversion, not consistently earning as much meaningful income as they should be, and they know that. And you guys are feeling overwhelmed and frustrated by the feeling of needing to do all the things, be in all the places, and you're underwhelmed by the ROI of all of that. I see that a lot with my ideal avatar. They've put enough work in to build 100 people on their email list. They're building offers and selling some stuff, and they're cranking out content, but they're like, man, this is a lot of freaking work, and I'm really wearing out, and I'm kind of burning out, and I'm getting really frustrated. Those are the pain points that are the next step pain points. They've checked off my checklist, but these are the next things that exist that I am responsible for solving with my content and my offers. So the next question we have to ask ourselves is, are we known as someone that can help our audience members to solve these pain points? All right. And it's just something to think about. A simplification of business strategy. We all get really worked up about campaigns and calls to action and promoting offers and what are all the things in my offer and like all these bells and whistles in this course and this coaching session amount and all this stuff. But if you really break it down and think about it, and just think about the offers and things that you've invested in, whether it's my stuff or somebody else's, you probably bought more from the pain point solution factor than, oh, I get 4 coaching sessions or 5 coaching sessions, or it's a membership, or it's a mastermind or whatever, or this online course. We need to be known as problem solvers of the pain points that our ideal clients have. And if we aren't doing that, you probably aren't making any money, and you probably aren't growing because people aren't going to listen to the content that's all this fluff that they're like, I don't know, this isn't helpful. I'm not solving any problems here. As education-based podcasters, which is how we have to view ourselves, all right, I am teaching you every week. I show up and teach. I try to be entertaining, but this isn't me just trying to be an entertaining podcast host up here. I'm trying to teach. I am trying to get better at storytelling. I had a pretty sweet newsletter a couple weeks ago where I told some stories and people really liked it. But at the root of my content, I am an educator. And if you consume a newsletter, if you consume a social media post, if you consume a podcast, I want you to walk away going, I've got some homework. I've got some action steps. All right. But we have to be known as someone who educates and helps people bridge the gap and cross over these pain points. If we aren't doing that, we aren't going to be making sales, and we aren't going to be attracting our ideal fit clients into our audience members. So how do we do this? One way is to leverage what I call an XYZ statement. You've probably seen a million different variations of this. It's called different things. XYZ statement is I help X to do Y so that they can Z. All right. I help content creators to build their online business. Like you just want to fill in these gaps. All right. So I help X to do Y so that they can Z. Let's look at my specific one. So at the beginning of the show, I say it's the show where I teach podcasters simple strategies to help you make more money, get more clients, and build a profitable online business. That's my XYZ. And where can we use this? Use it in your podcast like I do. I use it in your newsletter to say, hey, here's who I help. Here's how I help them. Here are the problems that I solve. And then social media, like this is where you need to leverage this in your bio on social media. I help X to do Y so they can Z. And just put this out there. All right. In my newsletter, I experiment with different calls to action. My most successful one is a really simple one. Like, hey, if you're struggling with this, and this problem, I can help. Let's talk. Simple. And I'm not going, and if you work with me, you're going to get 6 30-minute sessions and Voxer access and whatever course you need, blah, blah, blah. You guys don't care about that. You care about the pain point and the speed to solve that pain point. So make sure that with your content, you are becoming a person that is known for solving these problems. Very important. If you do that, you're going to be doing just fine. So leverage it in your content. And you want to be known as a pain point solver with testimonials. That's a great way to become known as a pain point and problem solver. When I first started working with Adam, I was struggling with blah, blah, blah. Now I'm able to blah, blah, blah. You hear this in my testimonials. I'm leveraging those on my website, this podcast, and social media. And then, of course, just with our content, referencing stories, doing coaching episodes, doing hot seat client sessions, case studies. This is a great way to be known as somebody that solves pain points. Like when I do my podcast audits and my hot seat sessions and that live coaching episode pops through every single month, you are just basically having a front row seat to me solving pain points. And that's what that content is all about. So, all right, we're going to put a pin in it. About 20 minutes in here, feeling pretty good about the solo episode length on this one. But these are just questions. Like I said at the beginning, you may need to listen to this more than once. So you buzz through it. Maybe you're doing a workout or you're driving to work or whatever, and you've got some ideas, but maybe let's give it another listen and think through each specific question. If you only do a deep dive think on one of these questions, I would make it that really specific ideal client avatar and get as specific as you can. And it should feel a little bit scary if you do it right. Like, oof, I feel like I'm really chopping off a lot of potential people here. But then remember, we aren't getting rid of all the people that don't fit that criteria yet. We can build our ideal fit clients from our offers and from our content. So keep that in mind. But this is, again, I love creating content like this because I'm on a simplification kick. I'm really exploring the thought of a minimum effective dose business. I'm using that terminology a lot. I've got some. I'm going to be shifting my brand quite a bit and shifting my offers and doing even more simplification here the last quarter of the year. I'm going to take you guys along for the ride as I do it. And with that, Pod Pals, I'm going to send you out into the world wishing you health, happiness, and many downloads. I'll see you on the next episode. Hey there, good looking. Just a quick reminder to hit that link in the show notes and get signed up for my free Podcasting Business School newsletter. I'm going to send you a fresh, hot newsletter every single Thursday with some of my best podcast launch, growth, and monetization strategies. Hit that link in the show notes and keep your eyes on your inbox.